Well, we basically saw this coming. I mean, you don't take down a game from your website because of a temporary setback. But what's up guys, today, for anyone hoping for Omega Labyrinth Z to make a comeback in the West, I've got some bad news for you. But for the uninformed, let me catch you up. Omega Labyrinth Z was a dungeon crawling RPG and a sequel to the original Omega Labyrinth with heavy anime and fanservice elements, including powering up your character resulting in their bust expanding, an appraisal system done by rubbing an item between a character's breast, and one of those touch minigame thingies that has become all too common within Japanese anime games. On a less perverted note, the game also had a pretty interesting idea where missions had to be completed all in one go because your character's level would reset upon exiting a dungeon. The game was released back in Japan in 2017 and was heavily anticipated by lovers of JRPGs and fanservice alike in the West. But sadly, a while back, the game was mysteriously removed from the Western publisher P-Cube Games' site. Many people panicked and threw question after question at the poor publisher, including myself, but the only clear answer anyone got was that P-Cube couldn't talk about it.
You mean you don't know, or you can't say?
I can't say.
Well, fast forward to now and it's official, Omega Labyrinth Z has been cancelled and the fault lies with Sony. And from what I can tell, this isn't even the ESRB's fault. The buck stops with Sony. While some people might claim that Sony's rule against AO titles might have kicked in, both the ESRB and the PEGI gave it a mature and 18 rating respectively, so this was completely Sony's call. And by Sony, I mean Sony EU or Sony NA, or maybe both. Either way, I think this is a great example of what the walled garden approach many people wanted Steam to adopt can result in. The title was not an early access garbage, unlike something else. It was simply controversial because it was a sexy anime game, and that was enough for Sony to lock their golden gates. And I think that is something to note, since with some people championing for Steam to bring back their walled garden, this could have easily happened on PC as well. Thank God Steam decided to finally stand their ground as an open platform. Granted, I'm under no illusion that they couldn't 180 that decision at any point, and that it still does nothing to address the real problem of asset flips, but that is another conversation. Going back to Omega Labyrinth Z, I really hope that those people looking forward to the game will one day be able to play it, and not by simply learning Japanese, as someone said during the Crunchyroll Danmachi controversy, though let's be real, learning Japanese is pretty dope and might actually net you a pretty good job down the line. There is always the potential of the Japanese devs taking things into their own hands and adding in an English option to the Japanese version, a la Dead or Alive Extreme 3, especially with the help of something like PlayAsia, though this is highly unlikely. Funny enough, that is another example of circumventing console walled gardens, since not even 2 console generations ago, games were region locked to prevent importing games your region console branch didn't want you playing. Ultimately, I would prefer the devs seriously consider the avenue of a Steam release. The PC market is much more open, and even if you can't get away with 100% uncensored product, the PC community has shown they will take it upon themselves to restore content publishers and devs may be forced to remove. Though, since the platform is so open, measures like that are mostly unnecessary. In the last few years, plenty of groups like Sega, for example, have started adding their previously console exclusive library to the PC market. But groups like Sony and Nintendo still have an iron grip on many dev groups and their titles. When it comes to Sony though, I have to say I'm honestly disappointed in this. I have been disappointed in them for most of this console generation. At this point, Sony has been in several controversies in regard to their platform, all seemingly stemming from the idea that I guess Sony doesn't have to work as hard because they quote unquote won the console generation and have all the exclusives, so it's Microsoft that has to actually be nice to its consumers. With how consoles are already dying and rumors saying that there is only one more console generation, they are doing themselves zero favors with their current direction. And while I considered comparing this to their E3 Last of Us 2 trailer, I'd rather not, but I will say with this current situation it does make me think that things like these are less about taking a stance on openness and more about optics and marketing, which is sketch if anything else. We're already seeing publishers and devs push their titles onto the PC market, but hopefully more and more of Sony's library starts to make that transition. Or maybe Sony does try to move in a more consumer friendly direction, But really, I just want Dragon's Crown on PC without emulation, so everyone jumping ship is an option for me. I kid. But leave in the comment section your thoughts on P-Cube or Sony, and I will see you guys next time. Also, for those who care about Agony, the unrated version just got cancelled, so that happened. Peace!